For 40 years, Moses lived within the quiet, repetitive rhythm of a shepherd, far removed from the power and politics of his past. This ancient relief illustrates the exact kind of brutal labor his people were enduring in Egypt. Decades earlier, Moses had tried to free the Israelites using his own royal influence and physical strength. That attempt failed, and the fallout forced him into permanent exile. Now he is hundreds of miles away in Horeb, a geographical location whose name translates to desolation. He has traded the palace for the isolation of the deep wilderness. Then the routine breaks. A blazing fire, or Labat Esh in Hebrew, erupts from a dry desert bush against the rocky backdrop. Moses had spent 4 decades as a shepherd, essentially forgotten by the world he once knew. God uses this sudden break in the laws of nature to halt the ordinary routine and draw him into a specific encounter. Moses immediately notices something physically impossible about this fire. The bush is engulfed in flames, yet it is lo ukol. It is not destroyed. The wood remains untouched. Normal fire operates on a strict transaction. It requires a fuel source, consuming its host to sustain its heat and light. This specific fire ignores that law, burning fiercely without taking anything from the branches. The leafy green branches remain vibrant even at the heart of the blaze. This visual anomaly prepares Moses for the identity of the being he is about to meet. An energy source that burns without needing fuel is the visual representation of a God who requires absolutely nothing outside of himself to exist. A voice calls out from the flames, instructing Moses to take off his sandals. Shal Ne'alim. Stripping away the footwear that contacts the earth is an act of humility and a recognition of sacred space. The voice declares that Moses is standing on Adamah Kodesh, or holy ground. The soil lacks any inherent magic. Rather, the presence of God sanctifies this ordinary patch of wilderness. The voice identifies itself by pointing to history, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. This grounds the encounter in the specific covenant promises made to Israel generations ago. This infographic outlines the divine actions God reveals next. First, he has surely seen, Ra'iti, the oppression in Egypt, and attentively heard the enslaved people's cries. Next, he intimately knows their pain, Yadati, and finally he has come down, Yarati, to intervene. The progression of these 4 verbs demonstrates that God is not a distant observer. He is an active participant who is intimately aware of and responsive to human pain. Following this assessment of the suffering in Egypt, God gives Moses a direct commission: return to Pharaoh and lead the Israelites out. Moses replies with a panicked question: who am I? In Hebrew, mi anoki. Looking at his own track record, all he sees is a man who already tried and failed, now possessing 0 authority. God's answer bypasses Moses' missing qualifications. Instead of addressing Moses' self-doubt, God replies, I will be with you. The mission's success relies on the accompanying divine presence. God is not looking for a capable person to provide the fuel for this rescue. He is looking for the availability of the bush. Still hesitant, Moses asks for a name to provide the Israelites as proof of his authority. This ancient Hebrew manuscript shows the divine response. God replies with the phrase, Eye Asher Eye, which translates to, I am who I am. This specific name denotes a self-existent, eternal being. It describes a being that depends on nothing for his existence or his power. The logic of the name matches the physics of the bush. Just as the fire required no wood to burn, the I Am requires no human strength to fulfill his promises. Living with God means moving from a casual approach to one of reverent awe. It requires trusting that the great I Am will provide the fire for whatever he